Hey YouTubers, what is going on? My name is Addison396 or Addison Smith. Thank you very much for taking your time out to watch this video. Today I'm going to talk to you about being a Battlefield Bootcamp expert. So, like I said, my name is Addison396. I'm a student at Sheffield Hallam University, entering my third year on my BA Honours in Media Studies course. I've been creating content on YouTube since 2008, on this channel at least, and I've been active on YouTube since 2006. This will be my 313th video, and I'm currently have 321 subs, around 115,000 video views. So, basically, today I'm going to walk you through a little bit about myself, how I got into YouTube, how I got into Battlefield, and then how I managed to get, very luckily by the way, a chance to be a Battlefield Bootcamp expert. So how did I get into YouTube? I started YouTube basically by creating music video mashups. I'd take like acapellas of one song and then instrumentals of others and mix them together, sync them up, add my own special effects, well, sound effects and things like that, and slowly just build up a song that way. A lot of copy and pasting of the acapella parts over the instrumental bits at the right time and stuff like that, and that's how I started basically on YouTube, making mashups and little mixtapes and things. Once or twice, I also uploaded my favourite mashups from other artists on that on the Addison396 music sort of channel. Before I deleted all those videos, along with the views that they supplied, basically to revamp my channel into a gaming one. So I started to upload videos originally from my iPhone. This is when I revamped my channel into sort of what I call the Addison396 gaming channel. If you look at my view count and things like that, it's roughly, give or take, a few thousand, you know, the gaming channel stats. I deleted the videos or turned them private so that the views don't count, so it's only views from the sort of gaming videos. I think there's maybe one or two music mashups and a couple things I've recorded that are still there. But that's about it. But yeah, I basically started to upload videos from my iPhone, and surprisingly, I had you know, a few people watching my videos a day, and they actually gave me quite positive responses. So that was really sort of encouraging, and it made me start to sort of look into the ways that I could get my own sort of capture device that I'd heard other YouTubers talk about. So I started researching them and finding out the price of them and stuff like that, and saving up for them. And after researching about capture devices, I saw a Roxio game capture in my local CEX, which is a trading game. So, oh, and sorry, I might go on a few tangents during this video, but I want to do a bit of a rant about Xbox One and used games, because a lot of people are saying things like, oh well, I don't see the point in this whole used games thing anyway. You know, when I trade my games in, I get hardly anything for it. I know that's the case somewhere, in some places around the world, but in the UK, or well, in my city anyway, in Sheffield, we have a a store called CEX. That's a nationwide store, but in our store the prices are actually pretty fair. I mean, if you go and say, for example, if I go and buy a game, I know that if I complete this game, or if it's not what I thought it was going to be, or if it's if it just doesn't last that long, if I complete it, it's really good, and then I just want to sort of trade it in. I know if I do that within a few weeks of buying the game, I'm actually going to get a pretty decent trading price, and I could easily get a lot more in store credit as well. So say I bought a game for £50, a few weeks later I'd get a trade-in of in between £30 to £40, and that's pretty good, especially from a trade-in game store. And it's actually made all of the game stores in my city be really competitive, because they started losing all sort of customers for trading games. So they originally had like really high prices in like game and GameStop and places like that, and now they started doing a will be any local stores what price by £1, we'll give you £1 more for your trading, and so it's made it really competitive. So just because it's not it's not something that you do, don't say that you can't see how it's useful. There are a lot of things that aren't useful to me on the Xbox One or the PS4, but I still don't see it as a negative thing. It's something that isn't useful to me at the moment, but I could see how it is useful to other people. And also the Kinect, it's like with the Kinect, they didn't. Oh, sorry, a better example is with an iPhone. Nobody, when they were designing the iPhone and the the compassability of it, and the way it can check which way it's balancing and stuff like that. When they were designing that, nobody thought that people were going to make apps with those little measuring devices where they've got the little air bubble in. I don't know what they're called, but nobody thought they were going to make those sorts of things. So it just shows how something that you maybe didn't think of as being useful to yourself can actually transform into something that is useful. That's just one example, but you can imagine it with the Kinect, and then with the used games, which is what I'm going back to. So massive tangent, I'm sorry. But getting back to the story, I basically saw a Roxio game capture in my local CEX, and I bought it, and I started to upload edited videos, not professionally edited by any standards, not like what they are today. And I think, them looking more professional as I learn more from my media degree. But yeah, they were uploaded the best quality I could get, and that was 320p or 360p, 320p. And I started to sort of take the skills I had from editing my music and transfer it across to editing video. I'd edited videos before, like I've been doing media since I was in year 9 in English school, in UK school. So yeah, I've been editing videos since that time. But yeah, having the Roxio game capture and that editing suite that provided, which I actually still use to this day, the editing suite, that allowed me to sort of edit my videos more in time to the music and that sort of thing. So the reason why I was playing Call of Duty at the time is that was the game that I sort of transferred to. I used to play Battlefield a long time ago. My brother actually got me into it for Battlefield 2 and on the PC, and I then went back and played retroactively all the other Battlefields. Got to know those games, had a few days at least on each of the old Battlefields on PC. Got Battlefield, I think it was called Battlefield Modern Combat. I really liked that game. I think at the time I didn't even realise it was a part of the Battlefield franchise for a few days after I played that as well. And that was a great game. But I transferred over to Call of Duty for COD 4. One of my best mates who I basically used to live at his house, Adam Baker, if he's watching. I used to basically live at that guy's house, and we used to just play Call of Duty all the time on his account. I think he had like 40-something days playing time or something like that on COD 4, and like a quarter of it was mine. So yeah, I got into that game quite late as well. But yeah, I'd gone from Battlefield into Call of Duty. Xbox was at the time, I'd just transferred over from PlayStation 2, and I didn't have any online capabilities on that. So Xbox was like the new thing for me. It looked really cool how you could have, online multiplayer, and Call of Duty 4 was better graphics. Well, I thought better graphics than Battlefield 2. So yeah, that's how I got into Call of Duty. I then got into a clan with Adam, and it was a very small clan at the time, the Scuff Gaming clan. We transferred over to World at War, and that's when I joined. I had a few good streaks with those guys. Then they're now making gaming controllers, Scuff Gaming. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Scuff Sai. And yeah, from that I basically, when that clan dismembered at the next Call of Duty, I sort of started getting a bit disheartened with Call of Duty. It was again the same repetitive, same old thing. Zombies kept it going for me for a while. I really do like the zombies and the co-op side of that and the multiplayer side of that. So I love the zombies. I wish they could make it a separate game just for zombies. That would be really cool. But yeah, I then saw Battlefield 3, and I actually saw Battlefield 3 about 6 months after it had launched. I don't know how, but I missed any information about Battlefield 3. I think what had happened is I used to listen to the Battlefield podcast when they did when they were on Battlefield 2, and those guys stopped making videos in between Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3. Stopped making podcasts, sorry. And when they did that, I sort of they were my only link to the Battlefield community. So I didn't have like an iPhone with podcasts like a subscription list at the time. I had to go and find them online and download them every time. And yeah, I just obviously stopped looking for them. So Battlefield just stayed out of my mind, and I didn't see any adverts for it or anything like that. So I eventually came across a video on YouTube, and I wish I knew the video and who it was. I clicked on it by mistake because I thought it was a Battlefield 3. Sorry, I thought it was a Call of Duty montage, and I was looking at Call of Duty montages at the time. And it was actually a Battlefield 3 video, and I was like, holy shit, look at those graphics. Those graphics are amazing. And the guy was just beasting. He was tearing it up on Metro with a huge LMG, just ripping into people, headshotting people with a sniper and all this stuff. And I was just blown away. And it was timed to the music, like the sort of stuff that I'd been doing on Call of Duty. But it was just amazing, and it was extremely well edited. So I basically transferred over there, and then I went out and got Battlefield 3 the next day. Started recording on it, and yeah, that's basically it. That's how I started. So we skip ahead a few months, and I basically discover the other half of YouTube, which is Twitter. This allowed me to basically continue like discussions with content creators from their videos, but actually get like a response back. A lot of times, if there's a lot of messages on videos, content creators only reply to like ones with top thumbs up and stuff like that. I don't know why. It's not something I do myself, but you can usually get a hold of people on Twitter. I think it's like the added incentive that if they reply to somebody on a Twitter about a video or something like that, then it helps people like see the video once again and be reminded about that video. So it also it's something good, beneficial to the content creators if they're more interactive and stuff like that. But yeah, I started to discover that Battlefield had basically a large community on Twitter, split up into like smaller different sections, like the PC gamers, the PlayStation gamers, the Xbox gamers, and then into like smaller groups like the people who listen to Snooze and that lot, and Battlefield podcast guys and that sort of stuff. And then I found that they had a lot of developers from DICE on Twitter, so I followed them as they always wrote really interesting posts that were really like relevant to the game or things that were coming up in the game as the DLCs would drop in throughout the course of Battlefield 3. And it was great to be able to like congratulate people like Rolly the Polar, for example. Every time a DLC map pack trailer was released, we'd be able to speak to him, and he'd be able to like reply back and congratulate him, and he'd be able to like give us, you know, like, oh, it was a long time taking this, or you know, that sort of stuff. And it's just really great to have that sort of interaction with the people who actually make the game and make the game trailers and things like that. And this basically eventually led to me meeting Dan Sheridan online through the Twitter suggestion box, basically. So I followed Dan, spoke to him a few times on Twitter, and he started posting that he was in a couple of servers every now and again. So I started joining the servers, having a few good games, and basically Dan Sheridan is he's the head of marketing for EA in the UK, and his tweets are great. Basically, he tweets out great information about, well, at the moment currently about Battlefield 4. He often does giveaways, you know, of Battlefield 3 loot for lucky fans, basically. And I was basically, yeah, like I said, I was browsing Twitter one day looking for a squad. I saw Dan had tweeted out a server, so I jumped on, played a few games. He had a few good rounds, and with Dan and against Dan and his sort of EA buddies, and had a great time in the lobby overall, basically. So it happened a few times, and then after a few weeks I get a private message on Twitter. I'm not going to read it out or anything like that, but it was basically asking if I could do any sort of tips or tricks for a video series that Dan's producing for Xbox. And that's basically when my jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh my god, amazing. I thought they got the wrong person. I was like, are you sure you mean me? Like, Addison's 396, Addison Smith, this game attack, are you sure you mean me? And I actually put that in my head. I was like worried for the next few days that they were going to turn around and say like, oh, sorry, we thought you were somebody else. Please accept our apologies or something like that. But no, they wanted me to go down to London, and I've got a few pictures up on screen for you guys to see. Of the studio and on the way down and on the train, just an explanation of what's been playing in the background for the last few minutes. And it was an amazing experience. So I went down on the train really early in the morning. I've got a bit of footage beforehand that they'd actually loaned me an Elgato. I've still got it now, actually. I don't know when they're going to ask for that back, but they loaned me an Elgato capture device to get footage, so that when I went down to London and talked about stuff, I sort of knew what I was going to talk about. I could sort of talk about the footage that I'd already got, and then talk about footage I was going to get. And it was really great. Like, they had it was in the middle of London. Took the tube down, took the train down to London, then took the tube into the right area. Got off at Piccadilly Circus. Walked to the studio and was introduced to everybody. People like Matt Cuttle, who's the guy who's like producing the videos. Matt was great. He was like really welcoming, really like calmed me down. I was like really nervous and saying all a lot, like I am now. You know, I always get nervous for you guys doing commentaries. But yeah, I'm starting to get a bit more comfortable in them now, and I'm hoping that if I go back, if I get invited back to do any more videos for the guys, any more tips and tricks videos, hopefully I'll be a lot more calmer. I'll be able to take a few more deep breaths, and you know, I've already done it now, so I've already done it. You know, I've got massively thick skin from YouTube over the few years that I've been active in it, and the year I've been running this channel. So I've had, you know, many haters. So all those guys in the comments, you know, talking about PC and all this stuff and all the tips, they don't faze me. So hopefully, yeah, when I go back, I'll hopefully be a lot more confident. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, Matt was really welcoming. He bought us lunch and stuff like that. So very, very, like, huge appreciation to Matt. Like, thank you very, very much for allowing me to do this. And obviously Dan, without Dan Sheridan, it wouldn't have been able for me. I wouldn't have even known about this, so I would have been, you know, watching it on the dash and following the tips myself, going, oh, I wish I was one of those guys. So yeah, like this time finally, I'm like one of those guys. It's just amazing, and it's all down to like Dan, Matt, and people like Jono, who's the host. He sits to the left of me or on the right on your screen on the bootcamp videos. He was so kind and welcoming and calming me down and telling me I was doing alright and stuff like that when I was really self-doubting myself. So yeah, I just want to thank Jono and Toby as well. Toby's been great, giving me lots of advice, giving me just loads of advice about how to just work in the studio with the camera, or what to say, or certain tips, or pitching in with tips when I was going through doing the videos, and tips like how to help just with the sort of EA, with the sort of getting the trains down and stuff like that. So massive shout out to all of those guys, Dan, Matt, Jono and Toby. I'll put all those guys' Twitters in the description below. So that's basically it. I went down to London, we did the filming, I came back and we've been capturing footage ever since. It's been really hectic. I've tried to get a job and then got a job, and then the call centre that I worked at shut down on me again. So I've just been looking for another job, and I've got to write stuff for uni and stuff like that. So it's been insanely hectic and busy, and that's probably why my uploads haven't been as regular as they were before. But yeah, I should be getting back to a once a week schedule at least. That's what I've been trying to maintain, and then as you guys can tell, I've probably been posting a bit more often than that now. If you guys want to look at the Battlefield Bootcamp videos for yourself, check the dashboard. They'll be usually under Games. If you go onto the Games tab and click Browse Games, and then go on either the Featured section there or the Extras section right at the right end, they're usually there, the Battlefield Bootcamp videos. Or you can find them on the Battlefield Facebook page, or you can find them on EA Vision's YouTube channel. So I just wanted to say thank you very, very much for your time. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're up to today. And I'll see you on the battlefield, and I'll see you in my next video.